What's up, everybody? It's Danny coming at you from wintry East Texas. Yep, winter has returned. You can probably see behind me. Had to put frost covers on everything again, and it's probably going to come off later this afternoon because it's going to get almost to 70 tomorrow, and then put them right back on because it's going to get down to 29 tomorrow night. We actually have snow or sleet in the forecast for next week, so the winter weather is quite a roller coaster here in East Texas right now, but that's to be expected. So today I'm not going to do a whole lot out here because the wind is blowing and it's very cold. But I am going to try to show you all around, show you kind of what I did with the frost covers and what I'm working on in the garage.
All right, for the green stock, I just basically took frost covers, kind of clipped it to the top, wrapped that baby up like a mummy. I do have one tier down here on the ground covered up as well. I just haven't put the second green stock together, but I think that probably did a pretty good job. Now again, that'll have to come off tomorrow as we reach 70 sometime tomorrow before the next front. And actually we're supposed to get severe weather, some high winds. I may actually disassemble the green stock altogether and just cover it up on the ground just in case. Probably be fine, but with the frost cover on it and wind not being able to pass through it very well, I don't want to get knocked over. And then over here on the raised beds, got my little Amazon hoops put on so I can put my frost covers on there. I don't know if you noticed, but I got the little pots that I made out and have sown some flower seeds in those. We'll see. I think I got them in plenty of time before so it can warm up. This bed I've got to fill. This is the brand new one. Threw some logs in the bottom, some mulch that I wish I had not taken off of the garlic and the onions. This is my blueberry plants, so kind of a makeshift tent, the best I could do with those for now. So hopefully this is all going to work. I was really worried about the blueberries because with the warm weather we had for, I guess, a 10-day period, they had started putting on blooms, and I just did not want those to get beat up in this cold weather. So that's what I've got going on out here. Of course, this is the bed that I raised last week. Still haven't painted it, but I'll have to get fill dirt or raised bed soil put in this as well. So I'm getting excited. I'm anxious to get the spring started and thought we were almost there. I should have known better. Winter in East Texas is definitely a roller coaster, y'all. It's a grind to stay patient and wait for the warm weather to actually get here. But looks like maybe next weekend we're going to be pushing back up into the mid 60s with lows only in the mid 40s. So hopefully spring is right around the corner. Hey, I did want to point out something else. Look at the temperature in my outdoor greenhouse. So how cool is that? Getting up to 50 degrees and it's not even sunny outside. So, and yes, I'm filming this from my kitchen window because I've already taken my coat off and hung it up. But anyway, just wanted to point out the greenhouse is warming up nice. I feel good about that. I know that it's still getting very cold in there at nighttime, and until next weekend when we're seeing regular temperatures, you know, up into the 40s at night, I'm just gonna wait and not put anything in there too important until we get to that point. But anyway, something to think about. I'm pretty happy with this. So what do you do in East Texas when it's cold outside and you want to work in the garden? Well, you stay in the garage with the door closed and you drink some coffee. So please excuse the mess. This is kind of my garden corner workstation here in the garage. But you can probably see kind of some of the things I've got going on. First, the little greenhouse is rocking and rolling. Let's see, it's 39 degrees outside, I think, and inside of here I'm at 68.5. I'm going to turn the fans on. I usually turn these off at night. The fans, that is, kind of let them relax a little bit. Turn them back on during the daytime just to give them some action, obviously to keep some airflow across them as well. But
Got a lot of stuff in here. I am full up. Never thought that I would need to make that larger, but probably do. Here you can see some of the things I've got going as far as that I had in the greenhouse. So, and then I'm trying some winter sowing too. So you see a couple of milk jugs there. I did bring those in. They're sprouting. They're up inside there. And I don't want this next freeze to put a whooping on them, I guess. And then I just started these the other night, a couple in the bags, just to see what happens. I'm just curious about winter sowing in the bags, and these will go back outside once it's above 15 degrees at night. So a couple things I had, these actually sprouted in the greenhouse, and I had them outside all this time. And so, kind of excited that they're growing, sprouted in the greenhouse. Of course, my peppers back here, these are the overwinter peppers. They have some leaves on them, but not a lot. And actually, those little leaf bundles have not moved much at all in weeks. So I have been giving them a little bit of water lately just to see, but I'm hoping they're still as dormant as they can be. And in a few weeks, I'll be able to put those out and get a big jump start on the peppers. So I have a little rosemary plant there. That's actually a rosemary that I bought during the holidays and used some and didn't want to throw it away. So I stuck it in the dirt. We'll see. I think it's going to work. So here's a look at what I've got going on in the greenhouse. I've really got a lot in here. It is packed. Should have built this larger. But I do have the heat mats turned off at this point because everything is sprouted. A lot of the tomatoes are looking good. So the tomatoes that I split apart and up potted, they're all really taken off. And I did the same with some peppers just last weekend, and the peppers are really going very well also. But look at the tomatoes that I haven't moved, the ones that are still multiples. They're just not moving. They're not growing. They don't look unhealthy. They look very healthy. They're just not growing. So I think this weekend I've got some more of these little pots coming, hopefully today actually. And so I think this weekend I am going to split those up and try to get them in their own pots, and hopefully they'll start reacting the way the other tomatoes did. So down here, got lots of onions. I've been trimming on these onions, waiting until I can put them in the ground, and I think next weekend will be when they go in the ground. And I've had to trim them twice. They're growing really well. Kind of getting anxious to get them out there and in the raised bed because I don't want them to get too big while they're still in these little starter trays. So I do have some marigolds right there. They're not looking so great. I put them directly under the light to hopefully help them out a little bit. They were getting very leggy. In here, these are my hashtag 2025 or hashtag tomato challenge 2025. They took so long to come up that I actually planted another seed. And then of course, right after that, the two originals popped up. But you see how small they are. They're just not moving. And I don't know if that's because I used, mostly cocoa coir for the starter. I don't know, but I'm going to try to get those out and maybe even split them up as well, just to see if that helps, see if it spurs on some growth. If y'all have any ideas on that, drop me a comment below. It would be helpful for me. So now that you've seen all that, just, to kind of get a little bit of context, this is my first spring to start seeds in trays and go through the grow lights and the heat mats and a little greenhouse to get all the starts going ahead of the spring, to get that jump start. So this has all been a very big learning curve for me. Last year I got started late. I didn't build my raised beds until I think February. And so everything I planted in the spring last year came from transplants. I bought either at Lowe's or Home Depot or a local feed store that we have here. Everything was transplants. In the summertime, I was curious about starting seeds, and so I did start some tomatoes for a fall run of tomatoes, and I really kind of got hooked on the whole seed starting. First off, the number and different varieties of tomatoes that you can find in these seed catalogs is incredible. Just a crazy number of different varieties that you're just not going to find at the box stores around here. And so I kind of fell in love. I did a bunch of dwarf tomatoes for the fall and loved them. The flavor was fantastic. They grew great. They produced tons of tomatoes for such small little plants. So I've gone, honestly, dwarf crazy. A lot of these you see in here are dwarf tomato plants. And so I'm excited about those. But that said, it was summertime. I literally put the seeds in the trays, set them on the patio table out back, and kept them wet. I didn't have to do the lights and the heat mats and making sure that they weren't drying out too fast or they weren't too wet because of the algae that grows on top. It was easy. Summertime seed starting was easy. This to me has been a very anxious run. It's been fun. I enjoy this. This is great. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and that's really what it's about. But at the same time, I'm very anxious. If I start losing these, I am set back and probably back to buying transplants and maybe not having the different varieties that I'm interested in having. So this is very important to me. So I've been doing lots of studying, researching, trying to learn new ideas, new things. I have a couple of things that I've learned here very recently with these lights and with the fact that we had such warm temperatures for 10 days ago. It was getting up into the 70s every day. And this greenhouse, if I left this door open, this greenhouse was getting up into the 80s, and even I hit 90 degrees one day before I realized it and started opening the door. So it gets very warm, and these will dry out extremely fast, way faster than I expected. So I kind of upped my watering regimen. Now I do bottom water. I try not to get water on the top, but these things were every 2 days they were soaking up the whole bottom tray, trying to keep them wet. That's how fast they were drying out, and so that kind of helped me understand and learn. But at the same time, I know we all talk about it, we all see it. But the green, I guess it's algae. I think I'm learning that is algae. The green that's growing on top of the cells is algae, and we know why it's there. We know it's too wet. That's hard to manage when you're up and down on these heat mats. Hey, Finley, I know, but. How do you manage that? So I started doing some research on that. I've come up with some different ideas on that, and I'll talk about those in just a second, and learn some things on YouTube, and I'm trying them out. I'm going to see if it works. I think the plants are probably big enough that they can handle it, but I know that I lost some seeds because that algae formed quick enough that the seeds were not able to germinate and poke through it or do what they needed to do. So I'm trying some different things just to understand a little better what to do next time. But I've really enjoyed this, but I've got a lot of learning to do. And I think that's really why I started so many, was because I was afraid that I might lose them. And I don't want to be delayed or set back for the spring transplanting. I've got people that I can give these to, like I've told you before, my uncle, my dad, and I've got some friends that I can give some of these starts to once I get them to that point. But these are things that I'm still trying to learn.
So let's talk for a second about the algae that I'm sure we all see on top of our cells. You can see some there, and some of these down here have it as well. It's pretty bad in some of them, and some of them I've already covered up. But I saw a video, and I'll try to give him credit. I'll put his name on the screen, Gary, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I apologize for that. But I watched his video, and he explained it, and it made a lot of sense. I mean, before even watching that, I wasn't even sure what the green was. I just didn't know, but when he explained that it was algae, things kind of started making sense. And his theory is, algae needs, 3 things to live. It needs moisture, which, we have a difficult time controlling on plant starts. And they need warmth, which we've got all our plants under grow lights in greenhouses, so hard to tamper that back, but they also need light to grow. So the one variable in that we can really control is the light. And no, I'm not going to turn my lights off. I have to have the lights on for the seedling health. But what I can do is once the green forms, I can cover it up. And so what I've done on some of these, you can see here on a couple of these right here, I'm kind of trying it out. I put extra starting mix on top of the green. And the hope there is that with the starting soil on top, that we more or less starve the algae for light. And without light, it can't grow. Now, what I don't know and what I'm going to be interested to learn is, does it continue to grow underneath? Does it die? Does it find light? I don't know, but that's what I'm trying out. And so obviously here you can see these that I've already done that with. And I guess I did that last weekend and still no algae growth on top. So pretty excited to see that. Hopefully that is working, but just something I learned. You know, we all watch these YouTube videos to be able to learn new ideas and new techniques and to understand things that we don't understand. So that's why I'm, really excited to bring this channel to y'all, to let you see what a beginner gardener, a first-time seed starter, things that are going through my brain and things that I'm seeing, and the anxiety, I guess, if you will, that comes with it. I really want to succeed at this. I hate failure, probably more than anything. And I want to succeed, and I want to learn everything that I possibly can. And so hopefully, as you follow me in my growing journey, you can learn some things too. But I think I'm going to wrap it up today. Pretty short video, but like I said, it is very cold outside here and the wind's blowing it, making it even worse. But these are just some things that have been, I've been thinking about, and these are things that I do when it is cold outside. I'm anxious to get out there and get to growing, get things in the garden, but looks like I'm going to have to wait another week, probably 2, before I really start moving things outdoors. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap things up there. These are a lot of the things that I think about right now with seed starting, things that I'm trying, things that I'm learning, and I hope that me sharing these things helps you in a way. Maybe you're a beginning gardener. Maybe you need to see that someone else out there that's never done this before feels the same way you do. Maybe you're an experienced gardener. Maybe you can help me. Leave me a comment, please. Help me out. This is all stuff that's new to me. I'm trying to learn as fast as I can. But yeah, I appreciate everything if you can help me out or let me know if I'm helping you out in any way. But I'm going to wrap it up. I do want to show y'all, so hopefully y'all can see that. I filmed that with the greenhouse probably 20 minutes ago, and we're already up to 65 degrees in the outdoor greenhouse. Super excited about that. It is working way better than I expected. I'm ready to get these guys out there. I know spring is almost here. Winter is returned right now. That's to be expected. It is February, but we're getting close. Just have patience. That's what I keep telling myself, and it's so hard. But that'll do it for today. And as always, thanks for watching. Finley, want a treat? You want a treat? No, I know. See it? See it? Up. Do some spins. Spin. Come on. There you go. There you go. It's a good boy. That's a good boy.